Well, hello guys. I'm going to change my classical guitar strings today because they're due for changing. Been on there quite a while now, and I thought I'd make a short video of changing them, and hopefully it will be of help to somebody out there that's not so experienced at changing strings on a classical guitar. So the strings I'll be using are D Adagio, classical guitar, normal tension, so if you are changing strings on a classical guitar, make sure you have the right strings for a classical guitar. And also very useful when you're changing strings is the string winder, which saves a lot of time. You can see there, pop it on there like that, and you wind it for tightening your strings or loosening them, as the case may be, as we'll be doing in a moment. And also clippers for trimming off the ends later after we're finished. And you may be wondering also why there's cling film on the end of on this part of the guitar here. The reason for that is it's never happened to me now, but I know sometimes when strings are after they've been tightened, if they're not secured properly here, they can come undone, unwind, and they can hit the body of your guitar there and damage it. So if this happens, then the cling film will prevent the guitar getting any damage. And also you may notice how I've trimmed, I don't know if you can see there, how I've trimmed off the ends of the strings there, and I've faced them all tidily over in that direction. They don't have to be in that direction. You could put them in any direction, either way, whichever you want. I just do it that way for tidiness. Okay. Okay, so I've removed the old string. So we'll put that there now. And here we have the new string. Now I'll just explain. The two ends of the string are a little different. This end, it's like a little rough and a little, it's not as solid as the rest of the string. So we don't really use this part of the string. This sort of goes in the tuner winder, and it eventually gets snipped off. So we put this end here, the more solid end. This end here, sorry, if you can see it there. Put the more solid end, we put that through here. So we put it through there, like that. Make sure we get it right now. Yeah, about there, if you can see it. And then I fold it one time around. I make a sort of a little bend on it there, just over the edge of the bridge. And I come around under the string like that then, and in through there, through that. Oh, I hope you can see it there now. I hope my fingers are not in the way. Right, if you can see that now. And at this point I want to show you that where the edge of the bridge is, I just want the string to come down just over the edge, so it's being caught by the end of the string like that. I don't want it to look like this, if you can see that position. I want it to just be over the lip like that, and the tension will catch it there and hold it in place. So, and then sort of wriggle it about a little bit like that to get it to just take shape. And as you can see, if you're able to see there, the string is just over the edge of the bridge, and it's being caught by the string that's coming up through the hole. And when the string is eventually tightened, that will hold it in place. All right, and next we'll move on to the other end up here and put it through the tuner winder. Okay, so next we've come to the point where we're putting the string in here through the tuning head. So put it just in there like that. If you're able to see there now. And also I'll explain while I'm here at this stage that if you're wondering how much slack you should give it, how much you should, you should leave it for after we've wound it around. What I've been told before is what a lot of people do is they use your middle finger like that on the 12th fret and sort of give it about that much slack there. That should be plenty. And I just moved this camera a little bit now. And up this end then. So what we need to do is wind it around a couple of times like that around. And then just hold it like that and get your winder. And another thing, before I forget, while you're winding it, make sure to keep everything moving towards the inside, not towards the outside here, if you know what I mean, if you can see there. Keep the string winding so it's in the inside, in there, that side, not out in this side. Okay. There we go. So that's the first. So now we have our first string changed. Well, it's the sixth string. It was our first string that we changed today, and the reason I don't take them all off, I change one string at a time, is because after you've changed this string, you can then tune it from the fifth string by just pressing it at the fifth fret, there, like that, and tighten it until they're both the same. Still a little out now. Yeah, so it's pretty much there now, that one. That's the first thing, and the first string done. Next string, the same procedure again. Everything both ends the same procedure. And for the fourth string then, instead I just wind it around one time here. You know, when I put the string through and I wind it around one time. With the fourth string, I wind it around two times, and it gives it that bit of extra security. And the same with the next couple of strings, the second and the third also, wind them around a couple of times. Well, so two times actually. And the first string then, I'll show you when we come to that. I'll show you what. I do something a little different with this one. So okay guys, so we've now reached the fourth string. This is the one where I was saying to you, I do it a little different, just only this end. Everything else is the same, you know, at the other end as the other strings. So as before, make sure you got your rough end that goes up the end, and your normal end at this end. So we put it through there like that again, and only this time we're going to wrap it around two times, not one time. Like the first two strings we changed, we went around like this one time. But this time, to give it a little extra security, I'm going to wrap it in here. One extra time, like that. Okay. And once again, make sure you've got it, this piece coming around just at the edge of the bridge, and that the string that's coming up through the hole is just catching it there right on the edge like that, and that'll hold it in place and give it a little wriggle about there so it takes shape again. And yeah, I think it's just caught there on the edge nicely now. You can see that. So that's the way I want it. So it's more secure now. It's not going to go anywhere. And then we go up the other end here, and the same procedure as before. You can give it your the slack after you've put it in through the tuner hole and wound it around a couple of times up here, or before you wind it around a couple of times, make sure you have slack of about on the 12th fret with your middle finger, you know, about that. If it's not exactly that, it'll still be all right, but roughly that. And then you can get it wound round a couple of times here and start tightening it then. And once it's tightened, you can tune it off the G string, or probably the G string is better to tune it off, because these first two strings we tuned are probably going to have stretched a little bit and gone out of tune a bit, but I'll explain all that to you later. So I'll go ahead and I'll get it put in this end and tightened up. So guys, now we've arrived here at the G string, and the same procedure for the G string and the B string as it was for the D string. It goes through there like that, around here like this. We'll put it under there, not one time but two times. That. Don't forget to make a little bend on it there, just at the edge of the bridge there, so it gets that shape. And you can also make the shape here where you put it around as well, and then through there one more time like that. So now it's two times, and the same as before, get it just around the under the edge of the bridge there like that. I think that's about right. Yeah, that's got it. And the same up this end. I'll just move the camera a little bit here. The same now up this end as before. Make sure when you've put it through and you're winding it, when you're tightening it, make sure everything moves towards the middle, towards the inside in here, not towards the outside, and it'll have more it'll be more secure, basically. So when you're winding it, sort of like I said, make sure it stays coming towards the middle, and it'll be fine. So the G string and the next string, which is the B string, the same procedure, and then the last string we're changing will be the high E string, and that's slightly different down at the bridge side. I'll show you what I do there. And so we've reached the last string here now. It's the high E string, and I'll just show you a little, it's just a little different what I do, and I know a lot of others do it too. So we put it through one time like that, through the hole one time, and then we come around and we put it through the hole a second time. So it's gone through that hole two times, so that's given it really extra security there that it won't slip off and damage your guitar. So it's gone through the hole one time, around and through it again, and then bring it around under here like this, like the others, and underneath both, like that, and again underneath the two of them there, like the two strands like that there again, and as with all the others, around, just around over the lip of the end of the bridge there, like that, before pulling it tight. So that's not quite there now for me this time. Yeah, that's it now. Just so you can see it there, I'll hold it up a bit closer now. Hope you can see that the way it is. So that should be going nowhere now. And up at this end then, it's the same as with all the others. Just put it through there. Check that you have enough slack here, as I showed you before, and turn it around, twist it around the string a couple of times there, tighten it up with your so we've now reached the trimming stage, where we're trimming off the little ends, of the strings on this end and this end. Now they're not too bad this end. I think I don't really need to trim them this end. I mean, if you like them to be shorter, you can trim them, but I'm quite happy enough with them there. Now the reason, I'll just show you this. It's a good idea, I think, to use a bit of card like this when you're trimming them, especially to just put it along there underneath them like that, and you can, you know, trim them as you wish. Then I'll just, yeah, there, like I said, I'm happy enough with them. But if assuming you're going to be trimming them if they're a bit longer than mine here, so the card will give your guitar protection in case you hit it with the nail clippers or whatever you're trimming it with at that end. And then the other end, so you don't have to trim them too short here either. I'll just move a little closer. Hope you can see that okay there now. So you can trim them a little shorter this end if you wish. Obviously not too short also, because you don't want some metal object too close in there. Maybe you might scratch or damage your guitar. I've already trimmed off them other ones earlier, and this one here is a bit long, so I'll trim that. And you don't want them too long also, because they could catch in your clothes or whatever like that. And the reason I don't trim them until the end is if a string does come undone or slips, you know, out in the other end or whatever, at least you still have enough length in the string to redo it again. Whereas if you cut them too soon while you're changing them, you know, it might not be a good idea. And lastly then, I've tuned it up using the tuner, but it's still not fully properly in tune, because the strings keep slipping at this early stage of being changed. So a good way to help them settle in is to give them a little stretch like this. Just get your hand like that and give them a little pull up and down, not too hard, or you might break your strings. Just a little up and down like that. It'll help them to settle in, and then give it a tune afterwards using your tuner. You can also do it like this, sort of pull it up with your 3 fingers like this maybe, and put your thumb there, give it a little sort of a wiggle like that. And that's it. Now it could take at least 2 days before it'll start to really settle in and, you know, sound properly in tune. Like every time I pick this up to play it now over the next few hours, and even tomorrow, as soon as I strike a chord, it's going to sound out of tune. But you just have to keep tuning it, giving it a little stretch each time, and after a couple of days, it'll be fine. And that's it. Happy playing.